Hello and welcome to Wayne's World of Wrestling. I'm Wayne Gilmer, host, and this is called Why Did the Streak End? This is obviously about The Undertaker and his WrestleMania streak. I've just actually watched his boneyard match this morning with AJ Styles, which was WrestleMania 36. So I've just got the YouTube the legendary WrestleMania streak on YouTube at the moment, and it's starting off at WrestleMania 7 obviously when he made his debut at WrestleMania, and that was with Superfly Jimmy Snuka. So it's at the very end of the match. It was a decent first match. It was kind of like a squash match really. Takes out the legendary Jimmy Snuka. There's a couple of decent offensive moves for Jimmy Snuka, but it was all about the Undertaker showing his dominance, and tombstones him for the finish. It just shows how monstrous he was. On to WrestleMania 8 now, and it was a psychological promo guy, Jake the Snake, who the Undertaker does say he learns a lot from, and he took a lot from Jake the Snake. This is one of my favourite matches ever, one of my early memories of wrestling, of WWF anyway, and Jake the Snake gave him 2 DDTs, still wasn't enough to keep the Undertaker down, and done the flying clothesline to Jake, the devastating elbow and stuff like that. So again, that was when Undertaker kind of turned his back on Jake the Snake as a heel, because what he was doing to Macho Man and Miss Elizabeth. Undertaker had enough, and that's when he's turned into a face a wee bit. But he still wasn't really a crowd pleaser, as in like Hogan and stuff like that in the 90s, but he did turn into a good guy at that point. Tombstone Jake the Snake outside the ring, puts him in the ring, gets the win. That's 2-0 for WrestleMania at WrestleMania 8. Again, just a dominant display really, but Jake the Snake still had more offense than Superfly. Another impressive victory against a legendary guy, but Jake the Snake Jake the Snake didn't need any titles, just a bit of promo guy, didn't have to raise his voice and shout down the mic, just stared sometimes at the camera, and that's how Undertaker learned a lot about promos, stuff like that. On to WrestleMania 9 now. The worst match, in my opinion, in WrestleMania history for Undertaker was with Giant Gonzalez. Just such an awkward match, hard to wrestle somebody at 7 foot. I think he's 7 foot 7, 7 foot 8. But Undertaker's meant to be knocked out with the chloroform, the cloth in the chloroform, and then Undertaker comes back out, still rising back up from the chloroform, and everybody's like, oh my god, how could he get back up for that stuff? And he comes out, but he'd won the match with disqualification, but it was a terrible match. No really many moves in it. Undertaker tries his best against Gonzalez, but Gonzalez was just this big tall lump of a wrestler. It didn't really. It's hard for him to sell anything as how big he was. Definitely one of the matches that you just don't really want to watch again. But I've been watching the WrestleMania matches over the past 4 or 5 days, just to kind of get in the mindset of doing this podcast, to remind me what happened in them, because obviously I've not seen some of them for over 20 odd years. So I decided to watch them on the network to refresh my memory, on YouTube as well, some of them were. So Undertaker won this one with disqualification, but it was one that was definitely forgettable for the Undertaker standards, with some of the matches he's had throughout the years at WrestleMania and other pay-per-views throughout his career. It wasn't the best. On to WrestleMania 10, he wasn't there because of the Yokozuna thing at the Rumble. So this one, WrestleMania 11, King Kong Bundy. King Kong Bundy, again, a bit of not the best worker, King Kong Bundy, but it was an alright match compared to obviously Gonzalez. When you put that into that context, I did enjoy this match a bit more, but he couldn't pick Bundy up doesn't pick him up for the tombstone, but he just gives him the kind of flying clothesline, and there was some good spots in it. Bundy had some good offensive moves, but it was an average match at best. But he still keeps going, and Ted DiBiase was with Bundy at that point. Bundy was 40 years old at WrestleMania 11, I think, so he's still done a decent job. And Bundy was always one of the kind of wrestlers. He didn't always sell great, but he was still alright in that match. WrestleMania 12, Big Daddy Cool Diesel with Taker. Loved this match. Just so many power moves. Diesel, I think Diesel jackknifes him twice in it, and Undertaker still gets up. Celtic some really good moves, the two of them. Back and forth match. I think it was on for about 16-17 minutes, and just pure power moves for the two of them. And definitely up until this match, this was definitely Undertaker's best WrestleMania match at that point. Gives him the tombstone and gets the cover for the win. That's him at 5-0 now. So at that point, people started thinking, well, this is starting to get quite impressive. This guy could keep going. Psycho Sid at WrestleMania 13. Again, this was another really good match, power match. Didn't like Bret Hart interfering in it. It was a bit annoying, but there was some good power moves in this. The match that Bret Hart they were trying to sell Bret Hart as a heel at that point. I just didn't think he didn't need to be in the match, in and out. But Undertaker finishes him off with a tombstone. There was a lot of good power moves in it. Psycho Sid put on a really good performance, and I did like Psycho Sid as a character, and him and Undertaker put on a really good match. Undertaker 6-0 for the title. I think that was his second title reign after he'd had the title reign for 6 days or 7 days against Hulk Hogan after his Survivor Series. And at that point he was the youngest champion at that point against Hogan. And I think then Yokozuna went on to be the youngest champion at WrestleMania 9. WrestleMania 14 now. Kane, one of the best rivalries in WWE, but they never ever had the best matches, to be honest. This match was average. Tombstone to beat him again, but again it wasn't a great match. Kane and Undertaker, the stories were good, the build up was good, but the matches were average at best. There's Paul Bear slapping the ref and then attacking the Undertaker. Well, if you call it an attack, it's the worst flat kicks that you could. Terrible flat kicks with Paul Bear. He's not happy with Kane. picking him up, telling him, "You got to get him, mate." Telling him to get him. There's Undertaker. He's Paul Bearer right hand, and that's it. Next WrestleMania 15, Hell in a Cell, Big Boss Man and Taker. This match was, again, wasn't the greatest Hell in a Cell, but I did enjoy it. It wasn't the best Hell in a Cell, but it was a decent enough match. It was a bit boring, is in some parts as well. Again, another tombstone to finish the match off, and then the Brood come down, Edge, Christian, and Gangrel come down off the ceiling, and they put the big noose through the Hell in a Cell, and let Undertaker hang Boss Man for the cage. Which obviously they actually hang his collar, and so it's not actually his neck that's getting hung, because obviously if that was, he would have been choking to death. 17, WrestleMania 17, Triple H and Undertaker. Their worst match out of the trilogy WrestleMania matches, to be honest, but it was still a good match, but compared to WrestleMania 27 and 28, it was nowhere near as good. WrestleMania 18, Ric Flair. No, sorry, it was WrestleMania 17 that Triple H and Undertaker. Sorry, WrestleMania 18, Ric Flair. It was 10-0 this one. That was a great match. I only watched this last night actually, and it was an amazing match. Two of them had some blood, but Ric Flair put on a great show. So many good moments in this match. It was in the figure four. I just really enjoyed that match. They finished him off with a tombstone, but Flair, such a great wrestler. WrestleMania 19, A-Train and Big Show taking on Undertaker. This was a match that is quite kind of forgettable. Wasn't up there with Flair or the Triple H matches or nowhere near Shawn Michaels standards or anything like that. But it was what it was, and he still gets the victory. A-Train just tombstoned, and that's the victory again for 11-0 now. So it's definitely getting into serious territory for the streak. WrestleMania 20, back at Madison Square Garden, where it all began, or where it all begins. The moniker was for it. Him and Kane again, a bit better than the WrestleMania 14 match. Still wasn't the greatest. Tombstone to finish him off again. Undertaker doing the eyes to finish him, but again this was kind of like the Flair, the Triple H, the Flair, Kane. These times was like and the A-Train and Big Show was like the American badass biker kind of Undertaker guy, and then he comes back as he starts coming back as the Deadman again. After that, but that's him at WrestleMania 21 now. Randy Orton, great match. Watched this last night as well. I've seen all these matches before, but I just wanted to refresh my memory, and Randy Orton was a couple of milliseconds away from ending the streak. It was dramatic, so many twists and turns in this match, and so good. One of Undertaker's best at WrestleMania, and the Legend Killer couldn't beat him. He'd already beat people like Flair and Batista and stuff like that, but he couldn't beat the Undertaker at that point. But it was a really good match. He beat him with the tombstone again, so just really good at that point. 13-0 at that point now, so just such a great record, second to nobody's gonna beat his record, and I just love the guy, and he deserves how much a legend he is. WrestleMania 22, Mark Henry and Taker casket match. It is what it is. The casket matches are they are what they are. They're not my favourite kind of match. Because they're obviously, they slow them down because they're going to roll them in to the casket, and then they get out the casket, and then they get back. It was an alright casket match, but it's no, casket matches just don't do much for me. So that's him chucking Mark Henry in the casket for his 14-0 now, WrestleMania 22. So I've definitely seen better Undertaker matches than that one. WrestleMania 23, Batista. This was a really good match. Build up was good, the story was good, and the match was definitely one of my favourites of his WrestleMania streak. Really enjoyed this match. Batista was actually put on such a good show with him, and just really loved it. Batista showed how good a wrestler he was at that point as well. And it's 15-0 with another tombstone, and winning the belt actually as well that time. And then coming up is the WrestleMania that me, Jim, Davey, Paul and Dale were at Orlando. So this is special for me. Him and Edge, one of the best matches I've seen, and being there as well was amazing. Edge countered so many moves with him, and I just loved being in the stadium at the time. And again, it's always one of the things that's always got to live with me for the rest of my life. Edge just kept countering everything, and then he gets beat with the Hell's Gate, which was, I think that was a relatively new move for the Undertaker's repertoire in moves, and Edge taps out and Undertaker wins the belt. It's a new champ, and we're up there in the second tier somewhere. Well, I know exactly where we were, but you can't see us because the camera's no magnified. But anyway, we were there, and Undertaker wins, and it's another one at 16-0. So just such a great feeling being there and watching that wee bit again. 25, WrestleMania 25, what can be said about this match? It's not been said. Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, arguably the best match, or one of the best matches at WrestleMania, one of the best matches in WWE, one of the best matches in any wrestling company. So many different moves in it, up and down. I think it was like a 38-minute match or something, maybe 40 minutes, roughly around about that mark anyway. And Tombstone beat Shawn Michaels off, but just amazing. I really loved that match, and watching it again, I think it was Wednesday or Thursday I watched it, and I was like, oh my god, I forgot how good it, well, I didn't forget how good it was, to be honest, but I loved watching it again, and I'll never grow bored of that match with Shawn Michaels and Undertaker. And obviously Shawn Michaels is Mr. WrestleMania. Watched the next one as well, WrestleMania 26, Shawn Michaels, and I remember it not being as good, and I know it's still not as good as WrestleMania 25, but it's still a hell of a match. still brilliant, telling him to stay down and things like that. And it's just, again, it's dramatic, it's got everything. And Shawn Michaels, again, his career ends his career-ending match, and Undertaker finishes him, and his career is over. But it was actually better than I thought. And then Shawn's doing the Undertaker throat bit there, and Undertaker's just looking like, and then he gives him a slap. So Undertaker's raging, turns him round. You're getting tombstone, mate. And it was a tombstone right off the ground, with both feet off the ground. Boom, planted. See you later, mate. You're out of here. And that's Undertaker with another one. 18 and 0 now. So Shawn had that's what Shawn gets for doing taking the piss out of him and then giving him a slap. Second of the trilogy with Triple H, WrestleMania 27, no holds barred. I actually forgot how good this match was when I watched it on Thursday or Friday. I watched this one, and oh my god, it was brutal. So much hardcore hitting, fighting, and I really enjoyed this one. And Triple H gave as good as he got with Undertaker, and it was a lot better than 17, and just so much stuff going on in it, because it was no holds barred. They could use anything they wanted, and I really did enjoy this one as well. So that's like the last 3 or 4 or 5 WrestleManias that he's just, Undertaker's probably arguably been the best in the best match on the card. And that's him. Got him in Hell's Gate. He's in the Hell's Gate for a while, and I think he ends up, does he tap or does he pass out? I think it's a tap out, isn't it? He's got the sledgehammer up, tries to hit him with the sledgehammer, but he drops it. He's fading, fades out. He's got a bit more life. That's him going. He's got his horn up again a bit. Triple H just, I think he does he. I just watched this on Fridays. My memory's terrible. He's tapping. Taps out. Undertaker gets the win. I thought it was a tap out. Sorry for my memory. That's Undertaker again. 19 and 0 now. And then Triple H challenges him the following year, and again it's the same result again, but it's Hell in a Cell this time, and it's Shawn Michaels who comes back as the referee, and this is an epic match as well. Really good twists and turns, and it's so epically told in the story. I just think there's so many different things happening in the match, and obviously Shawn Michaels is like, is he going to turn on the Undertaker? And everybody's always asking that question. Will he turn on him? Will he know? And then Triple H is telling Shawn it's time to ring the bell, and Shawn Michaels is like, Shawn Michaels is just looking at the Undertaker. Undertaker's like, you better not ring the bell, and there's just so much stuff happening in it. Just so much in the match. Triple H, it's like 3 legends, like I said, 3 legends in the ring. and Shawn Michaels is the one that's in charge as the referee, and obviously Triple H has been his friend for all these years. So he's obviously got so much respect for the Undertaker as well, and then he still has to count him down, and they still all go. They're obviously Undertaker's lying his back, Triple H lying his back. They're done in. Shawn Michaels just looking down on them after such an epic match. Actually, Shawn Michaels super kicked him at one point as well, and then the three of them got together, which is just a sign of pure respect. The three of them go out. Shawn raises his horn, then checks on Triple H, makes sure he's alright. Just so many memories about how wrestling brings people together, and how much Undertaker has done for wrestling, how many fans he's got, how many epic matches he's had, and how much he's loved worldwide. And his character's always been the Undertaker. He never really, like, the only time you really seen him coming out as Mark Calloway was with Stone Cold Steve Austin on the Broken Skull session, which you don't really see a lot of. That's them helping Triple H out the ring there. Shawn on one side, Undertaker on the other, and they take him out. WrestleMania 29, arguably for me, Undertaker's last actual classic match. We see CM Punk. I was there with my friend Leanne. One of my, again, it's a special moment, special event, being in the crowd at WrestleMania. Punk, the build up was great. Heyman and Punk together. The Undertaker. And the two of them just put on such a great match, and again I think it is arguably the last Taker match that was a classic, and I just felt like I still definitely don't think anybody should have took the streak, and after this match, Punk, maybe this should have been the match that Undertaker did maybe retire after, because it was a classic. And then after he wins this match, where else is he going to go? And then WWE decide to, that's him just tombstone CM Punk for the finish. Being in the stadium to see him winning, that's 21-0, and I was just like, it was just amazing to see, and I was just so happy to see him winning. And after that I thought, right, well, what else is there to do? And he goes down to WrestleMania 30, and he goes and gets beat by Brock Lesnar. I don't think anybody should take the streak. I don't think anybody should have took the streak. I don't think Brock Lesner's definitely one that shouldn't have took the streak, in my opinion. He didn't need the streak, to be honest. He's big enough he's got a big enough name. If they're going to give it to somebody, which I still don't think they should have given it to anybody, but if they're going to give it to anybody, why not Bray Wyatt at the time, who ends up having a match with Undertaker the year later, but Undertaker ends up beating him anyway. Why not a Drew McIntyre? Somebody up and coming. They give it to Brock Lesnar, who was already established, who was already UFC champion, who'd already won multiple titles with WWE. I just don't think anybody. I've got this on now. I've just put the WWE. I've just put the Brock Lesnar Undertaker fight on. For me, obviously listening to Broken Skulls, then I heard that Undertaker had a concussion, and it's still, there's some people believe that Undertaker wasn't meant to lose the match, and it was because of the concussion. But you get matches where one of the wrestlers is injured. I mean, look at Owen Hart and Stone Cold. Stone Cold's neck was broken, but Owen Hart realises that what's happened, and he just pulls Stone Cold on top of him for a roll up, and Stone Cold still wins the match. So it's like, if it wasn't meant to be Brock Lesnar, if Undertaker was meant to be 22-0, then why does Lesnar still win the match? It just wouldn't make sense. So I still think WWE made a mistake ending the streak. The streak shouldn't have ended ever. Undertaker should have went out. What is he now? He's now 25-2. So he could have went out 25-0. But again, I think CM Punk and him were 21-0, and it was a fitting end, because this match, he might have had a classic match. He could have had a classic match against Lesnar if he doesn't get concussed after 5 minutes, if that is the case, and that's the reason why it was a crap match. But obviously if you're concussed, it's not going to help you. You're done in, you know what I mean? It's not a good thing. Lesnar takes the streak anyway, and I definitely think it was silly. You've got WrestleMania 31, Undertaker doesn't come back for any promos, any of the weekly things. No, Bray Wyatt does it all himself, and he does it so well. The match wasn't great. It was good, but it wasn't great. And Undertaker wins it, and then, which I still was like, why not let Bray Wyatt, somebody like Bray Wyatt, take the streak, take the torch after the Undertaker? Then that would make more sense than Brock for me. I still don't think anybody should take it, but Bray Wyatt, Drew McIntyre, something like that, is a lot more need it more than Brock. But anyway, it's already done. So this is after the streak. So it's 21-1, then it's 22-1, and then 32 it's Shane McMahon. A pretty good Hell in a Cell match. I enjoyed it. Shane McMahon always gives his all. Crazy guy in the ring. Does so many mad moves, and arguably doesn't take any shortcuts. He just goes for it. Crazy moves. Brilliant worker. And just before, it was a great match, and then Shane takes that, climbs away up the cage, takes that fall right onto the table. Crazy. Undertaker wins that match. So that's 23-1. And then WrestleMania 33 comes along, him and Roman Reigns. Again, it's an alright match. Roman Reigns is pretty much the one that does the work. He gets the win. Again, Roman Reigns, there's another guy that could have had the streak. I wouldn't have liked it because I'm not a fan of Roman Reigns, but why no? He could have had the streak. More needed it more than Lesnar, in my opinion. But the fans, obviously the fans would have been raging probably as well, because a lot of fans don't like Reigns. I'm one of them. So anyway, he wins it, so that goes to 23-2. So he's beat again. Then he puts his hat in the ring, puts his coat in the ring. Everybody's like, that's it, Undertaker's done. And then he's back next year for a match with Cena. Beats Cena up in a squash match. So it's pretty much a bit of a daft one for me. That's him, 24-2. And then I was going to do this podcast, I was going to do it last night before WrestleMania Part 1, Night 1 even. Sorry, I'm quite dead thirsty now. After the first half an hour I've not had one drink, and now a couple of minutes I've had like 3 in a row. Anyway, so I was going to do this podcast last night, and then I got a bit tired, and I decided I thought it would be a good idea to wait until the Undertaker, the Boneyard match was on. So, watched the Boneyard match, and it was so much better than anything that Undertaker's done from CM Punk match. Better than the Lesnar match. Concussion might have obviously as a factor. The Hell in a Cell match was good. Storytelling was decent in it. Bray Wyatt match. Bray Wyatt match was before that. Bray Wyatt match wasn't up to much. Cena match was a squash match, and Roman Reigns beating him. Roman Reigns done all the work. But I know a few of my mates I've spoke to thought it was like a bad B movie production for the Boneyard match with Styles, but I liked it. It was one of the most original things the WWE's done for years, and I don't think I took my eyes off the full match, and it was interesting, it was intriguing, and I enjoyed it. And now, and after obviously the result, a lot of people, quite a few people that liked the match but are still complaining about it. Didn't like the angle with it. Like AJ Styles didn't get really much offense, which I can agree with that. I think he could have maybe had a bit more. He could have had a bit more action for himself. But now that I've seen that after WrestleMania Part 2, Night 2 tonight, straight after it the network's showing the Undertaker documentary, and it's called The Last Ride, and it seems to be, the trailer looked like it could be the Undertaker retiring, which I'm gutted about, but I'm not gutted in the sense that I think he should have retired 7 years ago, when I was in New Jersey at MetLife, because that was his last classic match for me. But going out in the Boneyard match, the way they done it, I did enjoy it because it was something so original, so different. And if that's the way he goes out, I would be happier than I'm going out in a match like you had with Goldberg, or a match that you had with Cena, or even Bray Wyatt. So if this was his last match, then fair play to him. I think it was fitting that the way he got on the motorbike, and then the Undertaker symbol come up behind him in blue on the barn, and then he rides away on the bike. So I think that might be the end for him. And if it is, all the best to the Undertaker and Mark Calloway. He's been my favourite ever, and he'll always be, I think. Not just the WrestleMania, not just the streak. I was gutted when Lesnar beat him, but just his aura, his matches at Mania. No, not all his matches at Mania, like Mark Henry, Gonzalez, probably Superfly as well, because it was just a dominant match. But A-Train and Big Show, some of the matches aren't the classics by any stretch of the imagination, but there's matches where they'll go down as complete classics and always live in the memory of how good the Undertaker always was. Again, it's no set in stone that this was his last match, because who knows what's going to happen. The documentary will probably tell us more. And my mate Jim says, well, maybe you should just wait until you see the documentary before I did this podcast tonight. That's Jim, who does Learning the Ropes with me, and he's sometimes comes on this podcast. My reply to him was I wanted to get this done tonight, and then after the Last Ride documentary, if the Last Ride documentary does hint or actually comes out and says that is him done, then I'll do a wee tribute podcast to his career, because he is my all-time favourite. And I will be gutted that it was his last match, but I'll be happy, because I don't want him to keep having poor to average matches, and that's what he's having. That is what he's having now. But I would watch this AJ match with Undertaker again. Maybe not as much as I would watch him and Shawn Michaels or him and Edge. But I'll watch it. I'll watch it maybe every once a year, something like that. Maybe once every couple of years, because it was different, and it was new, and I did enjoy it for what it was. So, and especially if it is his last match, it's one of the ones you would watch a couple more times again, because it's went down as his last one. So, but anyway, WrestleMania tonight, I'll be watching. I don't know if I'm watching it live yet. I only want to watch 3 matches out of the 9, so I'll probably just do what I've done today and get up in the morning and watch the 3 matches I want to see. But anyway, I've enjoyed the streak of the Undertaker. Still don't think anybody should have took the streak, and I definitely don't think it should have been an established person like Brock Lesnar. But I think that's all I've got to say on it until I find out if he's done or not. Thanks whoever's listened to my podcast tonight, for your continued support, listening to it and stuff. If you want to leave any comments on YouTube, feel free to do so, good or bad, I don't care. I'm happy to hear some criticism or some good stuff as well. God bless you all, and hope you keep safe out there with this virus still, and all the best to everybody, and hope we get back to normality soon. Peace and love, and see you next time. Bye.